The guy says that this happened when he was around 11 or 12 years old. He says that he was alone at home with his mom and his dad was traveling for work. One of the craziest shootouts happened in front of his house that resulted in a lot of people losing their lives. He said that him and his mom were hiding, they were like laying on the ground, and they didn't come back up until they heard the police come. He did say that he was traumatized by this experience because he did see dead bodies on the street. And since the dad was away, he immediately called his brother and said, "Hey, can you come pick up my wife and my son? They just need to be away from the house for right now." He said that a lot of people who lived there and also survived this ended up leaving too, and they just didn't know when they were going to come back home. So they go and stay with his aunt and uncle, and they didn't have any kids, so he was the only kid in that house. He says he remembers like being there, but he was so out of it. Like he was shaking, he was scared, like they still hadn't gotten over what they just witnessed. His mom was the exact same way, so his aunt, trying to distract them, turns on the TV in the living room and puts on a cartoon, and then takes the mom to the kitchen and starts making coffee and something to eat for her. His aunt also brought him a blanket. She was just trying to make him feel as comfortable as she could. As he's sitting there watching cartoons, he said that he felt his aunt and uncle's cat crawl under the blanket and land on his lap. He said that he really didn't like cats, but he was thinking, oh, this is the cat's home, so I'm gonna let the cat do whatever it wants. And he started like petting it from underneath the blanket, and when he did, he said he felt like wetness, like almost with the cat licked himself, and he went to go pet, and that wetness of the cat stayed on his hand, so he felt really grossed out. He said that he really didn't want the cat on him, but he didn't want to be rude and like push it to the side, so he just let the cat sit on his lap underneath the blanket. So a few minutes pass, and his aunt comes to the living room and says, "Hey, you need to come to the kitchen. I already finished the food and you should come and eat." He was like, "Oh, I'll be there shortly, but I think your cat really likes me, so it might take a while." And his aunt is already walking towards the kitchen when she's like, "Don't be silly, you know we don't have cats." In that moment is when he remembered that his aunt and uncle indeed don't have any pets, much less a cat, inside of their home. He thinks that because of the trauma of everything happening, like he completely forgot, and when the cat came up, he was just like, "Oh well, like yeah, sit on my lap." So obviously he freezes up, and in that moment, he feels the cat crawl down and walk away somewhere else. He says that he was so scared that he couldn't even turn around and see if it was a cat. Now, for some reason, he says that he got negative vibes off of this. Like, that's the reason why he didn't want to turn to look. He says that he knew it was real because even after the cat walked away and he couldn't look, he still had that wetness from the animal on his hand. I don't know, I think maybe because he was a kid at the time, like he felt something negative, but if you ask me, like it just felt like something came in to distract him from, you know, what he just saw. I don't know, that's just my opinion. However, he still feels this way as an adult. He still feels like there's something in that house, but what do you guys think?